I heard that.
It is April 4th, 2024. This is WIKISPEED Stand Up. Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, so past week I took my problem. I bought a SD card, but I took the problem to some experts, and they concurred, I think, with something you were thinking, that it would be weird if it was a corrupt SD card. They said if it was a corrupt SD card, there would be a lot more going wrong. Uh, and they said that sometimes it's set up to protect you from losing the ability to connect with the Pi. So if it doesn't like the Wi-Fi, or if it thinks it's questionable, it'll just revert back to the hotspot and not save the changes. So they suggested going to the GUI. I just did a little research, and there's a thing in the GUI called configure. A couple of things under preferences. There's a couple of configuration tools. So I'll check those out. You can do pretty much everything there. And then I can probably go to the, actually, I should check out the terminal, because maybe it did save some of the changes. It's just it was kept going back to the hotspot. So, and I looked at Trello. I saw your change on Trello, and I moved a couple of things on Trello. Coming week, then again, still trying to get past the problems of configuring it and finish the car. Oh yes, I also noticed on Trello, and I'm interested in helping if this is. I noticed there's 9 now on Trello, which means we're one short of 2 minutes. So I think it was me and you and Joe on Trello. Now there's 6 more people. So do you know about that?
I got that message today when I added. Said as of April 8th, you're only going to be allowed 10 members on.
No, not that. Do you know that there's 6 more people on our Trello?
I added them today.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was hoping that was
Yep.
the case. Okay. Blocks are my lack of knowledge on Linux and Raspberry Pi, but I'm working through that. And back to you.
Okay, it's Michael Olchuk, Saskatoon, Canada. This past week, I posted stand-up. I didn't make progress on anything but 2 of my subjects. First one was Trello. I added tasks to the backlog before I worked on them, and I moved things around when I was done. And the other thing was the WIKISPEED website processing. I got the loop running for the software, so now it does all the emails, not just the last one. It writes to CSV files so that you can add the group of people to the Google group and to Trello. For some reason, I thought that I had to write it to a file, but it looks like I just need to put it on the screen so you can copy paste. That doesn't really matter which way you do. But it's either way, it's a whole lot faster and more accurate than typing in the email addresses. I got the documentation, like the README, started for how to use the software. And unfortunately, when I started writing it down, it really is too complex for the little bit of stuff it does. I'm not really sure how to simplify it. I got the invite list for the Google group cleaned up. There were 300, actually more than 300 expired invites. So I got rid of all of them that were older than 2020. And I need to add to the README how to link the Gmail account for the code to work. I haven't got that far yet. And then we have an issue with Trello with only 10 members in a board, and if we keep inviting people that ask to be added to the board, they're not going to be able to accept. Although it shows that everybody that I added today is a guest. So perhaps we won't have a problem if the invites expire and no one's accepted the invites. Anyway, next week, hoping to support getting the Sun Founder up and running again. A little bit of work on the Polaris. I got a breakout board for my ESP32. Maybe I'll show you that in crosstalk. And I don't imagine I'm going to get any of the rest of that stuff done. Blocks are just motivation. I don't seem to have a whole lot of motivation. Back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to give myself an 8, the team a 10, and I think we're moving ahead on the goal of bringing more people on. Yeah, and so I've got something for crosstalk about something you were just saying.
Okay.
Recall it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I was trying to get 4 points done. I got 5, so I'm going to give myself a 10. I'm going to go with 10 for the group as well because we are actually getting stuff done. And our process improvement, we're closer to getting people invited back to the group because we've got Trello stuff happening. Although if actually more people start joining with us, I'm not sure how we're going to get them added to Trello. But be that as it may, that's pretty much it for stand up. I will open this up if I can figure out how to poke a hole in the plastic.
Do you know what it costs? I was going to check. Do you know what it costs to have a larger option on Trello?
No, I don't. I haven't checked.
Maybe I'll take that on.
So here, focus. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to get. So
Yeah.
this, the middle part is where you plug the ESP32 in, and then it gives you one more row of pins to plug into, and then the screw terminals on the side.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to try and use for the ESP32, hooking it up to the real world. So,
is that like a hat or a shield, or is it just?
It's like kind of like the opposite of a shield. It doesn't get plugged, like the ESP32 gets plugged into it. So it's kind of like a replacement for the breadboard. It just has terminals and the one row of pins that you can connect up to. So it doesn't allow you to do a lot of stuff. But if all you're doing is connecting up like the temperature sensor, it works okay. It's way more expensive than just putting soldering on a few pins though.
Right.
That thing cost $12, I think, and that was the best I could do if I ordered 3 of them.
So, what I was thinking of the shields, I thought had some kind of protection, like they have resistors in them. Or I'm not sure if they do though. The hat.
The hat is what they call for the Pi. What did you just call it?
Resistors.
No,
shield.
The shield. The shield is what normally plugs in on top of an Arduino, whereas this guy is gonna, like, he's the base, right? And I plug the ESP32 into him.
You still have to put resistors on to protect the Arduino?
For the temperature sensor, probably not. If you're hooking up like a relay or a transistor, probably.
And so then the next question is, does the hat have resistors in it, or is it just?
This thing is just a circuit board with connectors on it. There's no resistors or nothing on it.
Right, and what about the hat, say that's on the Pi car?
it has all of the protection it needs to drive what are those RC called? Servos?
Right, right.
It has everything it needs for that. It only communicates on, I think it's I2C, that it connects on. So that's only 3 wires, I think. Transmit, clock, and ground, I think.
Okay.
There might be 5 volts too. I'm not sure. It's 3 or 4 pins anyway. That's
So
all that connects from one to.
it's more than just something that it has like components in it.
Oh yes, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
It has active and passive components on it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
Okay.
this thing that I got is just like basically it's wires strapped to a board with connectors on it. That's all.
Right, right.
Pretty simple stuff.
And what? So it can I see it again?
Sure.
Does it have like pins on it or slots like?
So there, let's see if I can show you. Okay, so there's the terminals, right? So
Right.
those you turn the screws in on the top to make the wires, and then come on.
Oh, so it has
That's
screws to attach wires.
yeah, and then here, and I'll put my hand on both sides there, so you can see the inner side is where the ESP32 plugs in. You solder
Right.
your pins on, and you just plug it in there,
It gives
and then
you it's bigger. It's easier to work with.
and it gives you one row of pins on the outside that you can plug things into.
Right.
Like you could plug in some sort of a interface board if you wanted to, but
Right.
it's really just meant for connecting sensors.
Okay.
That it. You want anything else recorded?
I'm sort of done. I
Oh,
got
okay,
another meeting at
okay,
say 6:15. So, and I'm going to carry on with the thing, but I hopefully will be reporting to you that I'm making progress, and
okay,
yeah. So I'm going to keep talking on Discord,
okay.
and I'm pretty interested, pretty keen, uh, moving along with it because we if we start to get people moving on, then we want to have things for them to do. But we should also think of things that we're stuck at,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd be nice to uh, maybe say something on the front page of the website, like we're looking for Linux people or Raspberry Pi people.
Yeah, I guess we can put up a banner and see if it helps.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop recording here, and then we're
Okay.